All right, and with that, I believe we're ready to roll. What is going on, Speed Gaming? This is your Speed Gaming Live Mega Man X 100% tournament. We're doing our second bracket. We have two awesome runners for you tonight. We have Laseki and Thunderface, both running Iceful, so it should be a fun match to watch. And we have maybe a little confusion here. Give me 1 second. All right, and with that, it looks like they're off. So welcome back. Glad to have two different rounds here on Speed Gaming tonight. Actually, three, including Poison's race earlier. So, starting off with everybody's favorite stage, we're going to be running and jumping and mashing like crazy. So, the intro stage on X1 has a ton of lag reduction. Whether that's getting something off the screen as fast as you can, or intentionally not breaking a block just to try and keep that lag frame count down. First portion here, it's got your Bs. One of the most RNG things in this stage. You have three patterns that we're going to be dealing with. One, like you saw there, is the passive B. That's the pattern you want for the first. And then you have, or not passive. Passive is the one you're seeing now on Laseki's screen. You only want one of those, and we want to ideally get to 3 health or less. Both runners ending up with a good setup here, so it looks like they're going to be fine. We're not going to see Taskar at this health, because we are already at the optimal amount of health to get grabbed by Vile. So now we keep on moving. Couple slope jumps, jumping on those blocks just to avoid breaking them. Again, keeping that lag count down. And then killing these cars as fast as we can. There we go. And now we're moving on to the ship section. So you're going to have two cars that are going to drop down here. There's a couple strats for them, but in general, you want to stand back and mash, run all the way to the right, and then hopefully you can line the ship up properly. Both runners getting a pretty good setup. With incredibly tight timing to get that exact lineup. It looks like we have a pretty average Vile. He can really troll the heck out of you if he decides to jump off the screen and go for a coffee break, but both runners getting either one jump or just kind of a dash over. So, with that said, we're off to the races here. So as with most Mega Man games, we're starting off super weak. Zero telling us, hey, you know what? You can do it. You just got to go through and test yourself a little bit. So we talk to him, we keep moving, and we're on to our first stage. Now, Penguin is incredibly technical, but that's mainly just trying to optimize walking speed. So we have a bunch of slope jumps you'll see, and just trying to get as much of this stuff off the screen as fast as we can. Both runners doing a great job to just kind of clean that all up and keep moving. And we get to another point of discussion here, which is the bats. So, bats are incredibly laggy in this game, as with most enemies. Having more than 2 of them on screen is not a fun time. So as they're jumping down, they're killing all of those. Trying to get a couple slope jumps in here just to move forward, manipulate the spawns of those wheels. Doing some reverse jumps, and up to the boots we go. Great execution by both runners. And here's where we go from casually quick to an actual speed run, right? So we've got our dash boot upgrade. It's one of 4 in this game. So we've got boots, helmet, body, and buster upgrade. And in the icefall route, you're going to see us grab as much of that as we can as we go. But both runners trying to just avoid as much as they can here of these birds. Getting into the mech. We cannot grab the heart here, so this will be the first stage you will see as a revisit. But we're just optimizing our dashes and jumps, trying to get through it as fast as we can. Now you can see these snowballs. Snowballs are incredibly annoying. You have to be very, very precise on your shots or you are not going to be able to blow everything out of the way. But both runners doing a great job. We're on to Penguin now. Penguin is one of the heaviest RNG fights in the entire game. We don't want to see him slide. If we see him sliding around, we're just unfortunately wasting time. We'd like to see him standing on the ground and breathing like you see on Thunderface's screen. But you really just have to learn to manipulate as best you can, read the patterns, and go from there. Looks like both runners getting a pretty good pattern. I believe that's 3 slides for Laseki. And a 4th one for... Oh, double slide. You hate to see it. Ooh, and a death, unfortunately. If you shoot him at the right spot, he's going to try and back it up a little bit there, so... Unfortunate, but there's plenty of time to catch up with all the other tricks coming up. But with that, we have Laseki moving on to one of my personal favorite stages. We are on to the Eagle stage. Yeah, Penguin is not giving Thunderface a very fun time here. He's really, really sliding all over the place. It's an unfortunate side effect, and that's one of the many reasons you want to do this fight early. Now we got Laseki climbing up on the ladder here. There are multiple stops in this level just because we have our helmet upgrade as well, which we will need for the elephant stage. But jumping across, getting the heart as expected, and now we just take our little elevator climb up. Getting ready to stop at our second spot, which would be over for our tank. The first one of 4. And we have Thunderface joining him on the stage. Now these platforms can be tricky. We've seen a few bits of trouble throughout the other X tournament runs. If you come at it at the wrong time cycle, they can really throw off your groove. But no problems here for Laseki. Moving right in and onto that helmet upgrade. Now the helmet upgrade is not used very often, but of course we will need it in order to get our Buster upgrade, so that really dictates the route here. And Laseki really taking the opportunity here to show you guys some good movement. You want to be dashing and then jumping as much as you can, because every dash adds a few frames there. So across the whole run, that does add up, but that dash and jump timing is very, very important when you're starting to look for a top time. Alright, and now we have Mr. Eagle. Now, Eagle has a few different patterns he's going to do. What we want to see is for him to stay on the ground, just like Laseki was getting there in the beginning. He will dive on you. The more dives, the more time loss. Occasionally stopping to throw babies at you, but Laseki showing those blue shots off to get some optimal hits where you can. And in general, I would say that would be your standard Eagle fight. So very well done there. We have Thunder not far behind, picking right up. Getting all of his upgrades. And now he is onto the fight. So we will see what he ends up getting. But Laseki moving on to the elephant stage. Now, Elephant's another stage just like Eagle where you have multiple stops. You have a tank, a heart, and an upgrade. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of tech to try and optimize. And I think it'll be the first example of ice sled tech in this run. Doing some tight movement just to try and optimize his movement on those platforms. Those conveyor belts are tilted left or right. So you ride the short ones as long as you can. And then anything that's going left, you're going to jump on. Thunder, unfortunately, just getting some crazy RNG this race. Eagle is just not being a friend. But he comes down. He doesn't go back up for more dives. So he made it up to him in the end. Now we get to go for our tank upgrade. So we want to go ahead and drop a nice shot. Use that for that little bit of height. Break some blocks. And we are on our way to the heart. Yeah, it's still anybody's race at this point. There is a lot more to go. But Laseki grabbing the heart real quick, using that tornado just to try and clear that guy out of the way as best he can. Having a little trouble with the platforms, but that's expected. Those little laser dudes can be really unforgiving. Oh, Thunder. Oh, man. So, unfortunately for Thunder, that is going to be a reset on the level. You need to actually leave the stage and come back because those blocks are broken. Oh, man, and unfortunately a reset. A little bit of audio issues. But you know what? It looks like he actually... Oh, that's smart. I never even would have thought of that. So in the rule set, a password screen is entirely viable. If you soft lock on Vial or anything like that, you can totally do that. Reset, come back to the password screen, and keep it going. So, very well played, Thunder. That's not a strat you would see often, but in a race, that's 100% viable. As long as both players pick up all of the units, we are totally fine to go. But that might be the most optimal strat, too. Additionally, with his one life loss on Penguin, I don't believe he has that now, so props on him. And anyways, now we're on to Kawanger. We get to see the spikes everywhere. Laseki opting not to go for the spike glitch wall method. He's just having some fun taking out the flying dudes. We call them tacos. And he's going to be moving up to the second Kawanger climb, and we will get to see the Iceful strat to grab that heart. Thunder pushing right through it, man. Great execution on the stage. Hopefully the boss is pretty good to him. Now, Elephant is one of those bosses that does give you almost a task level of execution, just because the tornadoes take so long to get off screen. You can get the 2 hits required to do some real damage. And as long as you're timing them right, you're good. But Laseki flying right on through that Iceful heart, making his way up top. These little yellow shots are incredibly annoying to dodge, but he's making short work of it. And let's see if it's time to dance. And with that, it looks like Kawanger did not want to dance with us today. You can manipulate the boss. He's going to stand there and just headbang with you. Honestly, Laseki doing very close to a tight lemon shot strat here just to try and optimize the damage with his teleporting. Really solid fight regardless. And with that, he's right on his way. Thunder with the intentional damage. Let's see how his turtle climb goes. A little bit of struggle, but everything's all right. He got the triple hit, so that's just about the coolest tech, in my opinion, on the Iceful route. But Laseki moving on here to the Mandrill fight. So Mandrill's stage in general is an absolute cluster. It's really hard. There's tech all over the place. We're going to mainly try and just get everything out of our way as fast as we can, grab the heart and the tank, and then obviously we want to get rid of Thunder Slimer as fast as we can. So moving up to the hallway section here, the Tornado strat is only about a second or two slower than the optimal no-stop hallway. And in my opinion, it's very cool. Just learning to time out all of those tornadoes is really fun to watch. Thunder having a little bit of trouble with the climb, but still just kicking it right all the way up. Opting for the iceless attempt, very, very gutsy. I like the effort. Saving about 2 seconds with an optimal iceless there. But with that, we got the sled and we're moving right along. Let's see what we've got here. Going for the traditional kick grab on the heart. Can respect it. Thunder moving in here on Kawanger. Let's see if we can get the dance out of his run here. Great execution from Laseki. Just jumping around, kicking everything right as it's showing up. It's actually a really tough final screen. But with that, we've got the tango happening. We got a nice dance. He's going to stop after he gets halfway through his health. So Thunder giving you a really, really good showing of what your optimal fight looks like. And on the left side here, we've got Laseki showing you those cheesy iframes on Mr. Mandrill. You can actually hit him twice in his ice phase. And he's making short work of him. Great fight from both of them. Now, Thunderface hopping back in, and we're going to have Laseki going all to Armadillo. So, we'll see what strats he opts for here. There's a lot of different variation you can do. A lot of electric strats, some ice strats. Maybe we get to see booty grab. We will see what he's feeling up to today. As usual, opting to kill as many bats as you can, just to try and cut that lag down as much. No booty grab from today, but we're going to go ahead and just jump over and get through as fast as we can. We don't like dealing with Mr. Mole Borer. Got some nice Buster-only strats. So now that we're back at Thunder Slimer, let's go ahead and talk about that fight. So you have a full charge, a single tornado, and then a full charge. And if you do it right, you're going to pop him off just like Thunder Slimer did, or Thunderface did on Thunder Slimer. And you're not going to see any of those extra 4 little bubbles spawn. So that's like the most lag reduction strat you can do. And a really good fight from Thunder. Laseki getting a pretty fast heart there, so that's always fun. And now we deal with the bird section. I know as a kid this was incredibly frustrating, just having all these birds everywhere, but as a speed run, we know exactly where to jump to not spawn the birds. And by doing that, we skip the triggers and cut a ton of lag out. So now Mr. Dillo can be an absolute troll. He can roll for pretty much as long as he wants, the longest being 32 seconds in a cycle. But Laseki getting the perfect cycle there, where he just rolls into the wall, stops, and calms down. Taking a few hits, getting it done. Very good fight by Laseki. Let's see how Thunder fares. Getting the optimal first shot in there. Abusing those iframes. Now, we don't want to see Mandrill punch. If Mandrill punches, that's just not good. We're wasting time, unfortunately. But I think he got about the same amount of punches as Laseki, so. With that, we are on to Octo stage. Octo is the mini-boss rush, so to speak. You have 2 submarines we're going to have to deal with, and 2 mini-boss fights. Luckily, we know how to make pretty quick work of it, so doing some optimal movement here just to try and get everything out of your way. You can dodge over these guys. And we start our first submarine. So Laseki opting here for an electric strat. Just mashing away to try and kill him. Traditionally, I believe we go for a rolling shield for the first, and then for a Ooh, that was a nice turnaround for an electric strap for the second, but he's opting to do it the opposite, which is totally fine. Killing him as fast as you can. Thunder with some really swaggy health grabs there. That was very cool. And now we do the midship here. So the midship is very heavy on RNG. You're either going to get hit with a missile or you're going to be totally fine. Laseki taking the intentional hit from the missile just to use those iframes. And those iframes are going to allow you to get the full charge shot off and then just dip your way off to the side so that you can avoid the lag of the ship blowing up. And then popping right down, shooting the tubers right in the face, and then up you go. We don't even give this guy a chance to spawn. Very optimal fights and optimal kills from Laseki. So, Thunderface going into Armadillo. Let's see what kind of pattern he gets, if you want to keep an eye on that. But let's talk about Octo while we're here. So, Octo has a few patterns. He's either going to throw some fish at you, throw some missiles at you, or jump up and give you a swirly. So, the last thing we want to see is that swirly we're seeing right there. Now, if he grabs you, he's going to take your life, and if you hit the wrong button combination, you're going to underflow the game's memory, and unfortunately, you will get leached to death. But Laseki getting one grab there, that's totally fine. That's really good. Almost perfectly synced up arm pumps. All right. So let's see if Thunderface gets the same level of execution here. Maybe you'll get to see the swapped around submarine fights, but otherwise it should be just about the same. And Laseki on to Chameleon stage. Now Chameleon has a mini-boss, a heart tank, and then we're going to be moving on to the final fight. So, Green Biker Dad, lovingly named after X2. We have a few lemons you're going to have to shoot, so between 5 and 7, depending if you time them right. And then you're going to need 18 boomerangs to kill him. So the iframes on him are very long. So it might look like he's taking his time, but he's getting really well-timed shots on his iframes. And he can make real short work of him. So now we're going to get the chest upgrade. And that'll let him take double the damage. Get in the toe by jumping up at the right time, right before the capsule spawns up Mr. Light. Great RNG for Thunder there, getting the shot off without having to take damage right away. But you can see some of that lag hitting. Alright, on to the heart grab. Now there's a few different routes in this game. We're watching Iceful, but in the C3 route we come to Chameleon 3rd. And that area is actually not filled with water until you defeat Mr. Octopus. So you use a Phantom grab, this being the ultimate safe way of doing it. But still pretty swaggy to grab it and jump right off screen. Thunder having no problem with any of these mini-bosses. He's flying right on through. And let's hope he gets the same RNG that Laseki got. Getting one swirly is pretty good. And now we're on through the mud run. Some technical jumps, but everything's pretty in front of you, so you just kind of shoot and hope the best. There goes a swirly for Mr. Thunder. And probably the most cheesed boss in the game. We've got your boomerang out. You're just going to shoot left to right. And then that's about all you need to just get him out of your way. He'll just keep jumping up and getting hit by your boomerangs. Really fun to learn when you start off speedrunning. That's the ultimate cheese. Thunder getting a pretty good Octo. A couple more swirlies, but overall, he dealt with them as best you can. And good fight. Good solid fight. I will say, Laseki really showing off some solid movement here, too. Across all these stages. I mean, the tech is hard enough, but getting all of those optimal jumps and dashes, he's doing a great job of that. And Thunder as well. So now that we've defeated our 8 Mavs, now we've got 0 coming to say, hey, I found out where the base is, so, yeah, meet me there. But we're like, hang on, man, give me a second. I have to go pick up all the requirements for 100%. So we're back to the Eagle stage. A few different ways to do this, looking at some tornado strats, which is a more rare one, but really cool. And we're going to go back and grab that penguin heart. Thunder getting a few tinks off of the claws there on Green Biker Dad. He has some really, really big hitboxes on those claws, so he'll just have to make up for it with a few lemons, but everything will be just fine. And probably the best act of revenge I have in this game. You don't have to worry about any of those things. You just pop your C-Sting and right on through. Grabbing the heart and moving right along. So we have Thunder going for the heart grab, and now we have Laseki finishing the final stages of his revisits. For those of you unfamiliar with the 100% category requirements, we need to get all 8 of the heart tanks, all 4 of the sub-tanks, and all of the armor upgrades. Now, Laseki going for the final tank here, but otherwise having all of the requirements. And that enables the option of getting the Hadoken. Now, the Hadoken is at the end of this stage. You're going to have to ride the carts until the end. And right above the boss door is a small ledge. We just have to see the back of that ledge, and it counts as a visit. And we want to do that 5 times throughout the entire game. So we did 1 on the original, when we came to fight the boss, and now we're going to do the final 4. On the 5th time, you'll see a tank appear. Great section by Thunderface, just flying right on through there. And now we're back on the carts. Now the cart can be a little bit, unfortunately, mean. Hopefully we don't see it, but if you jump at the wrong spot, you can actually clip through the front of the cart, and then it'll just eat you and you die. Very unfortunate, but that's looking like a real solid visit right there. So let's hope we get 3 more of those. Thunder taking care of Mr. Chameleon real quick, getting the optimal 17 boomerangs and then 1 lemon shot on him at the end. That means he timed out his boomerangs perfectly. There we go. Nice quick touch the ledge and drop it off, and there we go. Now the Hadoken, if we haven't explained it yet, or if you're unfamiliar, it is an instant kill on everything except for the bees in the intro stage, which you don't get the option to use anyways, and final Sigma's form. So that would be the head Sigma, Wolf Sigma. So we're going to try and use that the best we can. You can optimally get a Hado on every single boss, but we will start to see all of that crazy tech here coming very shortly. Thunder getting a little bit of trouble from these wheels. They're really not giving him a good free passage through, but he's doing all right. He's on his way up to the heart. And I believe this will be the last visit for Laseki. And there we go. We've got Dr. Light all dressed up in his gi, ready to teach you the ultimate technique. And that completes all of our required 100% needs. So Thunderface starting off here, we'll let him run on through and get that facilitated, and we can go ahead and start talking about the Sigma stages. So in similar fashion to Mega Man 1, you have a boss rush that goes segment by segment, unlike Mega Man 2 and X2, where they keep that same Patzel fight moving on through the series. So we're going to watch Laseki try and get through all of this as best he can. Now, the health requirements that we had on the intro fight against Vile is going to be the same thing we have here, but 6 health instead of 3. So we're going to take all these intentional hits, try and clear out as much lag as we can, and get ready for a Vile fight. But we're going to take a little bit of revenge on the whole situation and try to glitch the entire situation out. So if you've played the game before and you're familiar, you're going to get that encounter there where Vile drops down, Zero drops down, and Zero's just like, hey, I'll go take care of this. And you wait for a second. But if you don't touch the ground like you're seeing Laseki do, we're going to go ahead and trigger the cutscene without doing the cutscene. Holding start, you can skip through all of this menu section, and the fight continues while the dialogue rolls in the back. Nice little glitched out gold Sigma there by holding the, I believe it's the Y button while he's doing the start. But with that, Mr. Zero is blowing up the mech suit. We're going to have to finish up the fight for him. And it looks like, there we go. So a nice form for the Hado right there. Thunder going for an optimal visit there, where you jump off the platform early and turn around to cut your movement speed. Pretty hard to do. And here's our boy Zero. He's saying, X, it's okay, you're strong, you've got this. And I promise we will never see him again in any of the X games. Definitely Zero is gone. So we're going to go ahead and start our climb up here to Kwanger. Kwanger can be very trolly, especially in the 100% route, where all we have to do is stand still and throw a Hado. But, you know, being Kwanger and the troll he is, he can decide to teleport, and you just can't do anything about it. But Laseki not having to deal with that, rushing headfirst into it. And, yeah, making short work of it. So we're moving right along into our final fight of the stage. That would be Mr. Bow Spider. And Bow Spider has a complete RNG pattern. So we're going to see a bunch of columns in the middle of the stage. Bow Spider is going to do a random pattern of left and rights. We have to do everything we can to adjust to that and try to get a Hadouken off on him right in the middle of his body. Looks like he's given an okay pattern for Laseki. Optimally, you want 2 to 3. But he did not throw any babies down at him, so he had nothing to dodge. And great execution by Laseki. Now, I believe this is the final visit for... Yep. So Thunder is right on his way to Sigma 1. And Laseki gets to move on to my personal favorite Sigma 2 stage. The absolute best music in the game. Don't judge me. But you only get to hear it for a short little bit. This is a really fast stage. Laseki opting for some tornado strats here, which is pretty unusual, but also really swaggy, so very cool. And we're going to go ahead and Hado Mr. Penguin. Now, Penguin has the exact same movement set every single time you get here. Unfortunately, getting a lemon, but, you know, Penguin being the nice guy he is, he usually gives you a second chance for a Hado. But if you hop into the room, you do a short walk, jump over that first ice shot, you will always have the opportunity to at least get the Hado off on him. But we're zipping right on through here. The only shot we have to take care of is that last one that you saw on the ladder. That flying guy is quite the troll, and if you don't get a shot on him, he might just hit you. But we're moving right on to Eagle. Eagle, similarly, has the exact same pattern as well. He's just going to start dusting you. And as long as you get your Hado off, after you do a full jump and a dash, you should be fine. Thunder getting ready to execute on this awesome skip that we saw before, with a nice tight jump, I might add. Very optimal. The lag in this section on Sig 2 is very, very difficult. You want double kicks, and unfortunately the double kicks, they kind of get eaten with the amount of lag on screen. So, good execution from Laseki. And, oh no, that's about the last thing we want to see. Ooh, even worse. So Mr. Rangdabangda has 3 different eye colors, right? We're going to be operating with a green, a red, and a blue eye. Now, the green eye is a one-shot eye. You have only one shot you're going to hit on him before he closes his eye. The blue travels down towards you, and then the red travels as well, unless it's in the final form here. And ideally, we want a blue eye and then a red eye. But getting 2 green eyes, that's RNG. There's not much you can do with it. Laseki did everything he could. And Thunderface with the nice auto here on Vile. Always feels good to get that shot off. Again, I promise you will never see Zero again. Definitely not going to happen. We get one of our first sequence... Is it a sequence break? I don't really know how to describe it, but we're going to do a boss skip here. Unfortunately, Laseki moving a little bit farther. I will try to get that explained when Thunderface gets here. But luckily, we have full health and Electric Spark, so we're not going to have too much trouble getting a shot off on him and then throwing a Hadouken. Very technical trick. Not super difficult on execution. A lot of runners really struggle with that in the beginning, but once you get a handle on it, it's not too bad. Laseki not opting for the air Hado, but again, that's totally fine. We've got his weakness, so we're going to fly right through it. Thunderface getting a good Kwanger, so moving right along. Let's see if Bow Spider wants to be friendly, just like Laseki got, or if he's going to throw some babies at him. Use that cheese, man. Anytime I can do that to Chameleon, I'm happy. He was the worst as a kid. Fortunately, you see Thunderface getting stuck with the babies. You have to read that pattern, and it's really frustrating to dodge. But it's okay, we have sub-tanks. And we're gonna, unfortunately, right into him. So we're gonna go to the any percent strat. Your any percent strat is charged ice shots until the final shot. And it really does do a nice number on him. But we'll go ahead and let him wrap that up. Laseki moving right along. Not quite getting the fish minute, but getting right through it. And on to one of the most free Hadoukens in the entire last set here. Mr. Octopus will do 3 different jumps for you. You've got a high, a low, and a middle. That would be a middle that we're seeing on Laseki's screen. And as long as you shoot 1 lemon just to get rid of that initial torpedo that's coming your way, it's pretty much guaranteed. But yeah, Thunder's showing us, honestly, a really, really good any percent fight. He's nailing all of these shots. And he is 100% a run killer. I mean, especially under PB pressure, you know how it is. You get to those points and then, you know, it's unfortunate. But great fight from Thunder. Those any percent shots are not the easiest thing to get off, especially with the babies running around. Laseki showing us probably the second most free Hado. You just turn and shoot on Mr. Mammoth after you walk a brief second, and you are good. Now let's see if Laseki opts for the quick kill here. It's called the Domduken. Essentially what we're going to do is buffer our down and right inputs. Does not appear he got it, but he's going to go ahead and set up for the backup a little early, and that's totally respectable. It's a little hard to time that shot, but that's exactly how you want to do it. You take it, use the iframes, swap over, and shoot one more time. Great backup strats. Thunder making quick work of Sig 2. You love to see it. And with that, we have Laseki going on to our final segment. So, series of jumps here. We can avoid all of the enemies that are coming out at you, but we're going to get ready for our final 3 stage fights. So we have everyone's favorite dog, Velgarder. Sigma's just like, hey, you know what? I want to fight you, but first you have to just kill my pet. So do that. And we do that. And then he comes back down and he's just like, hey, well, you killed my pet, so let's do it. Now you can buffer your input here to get an optimal shot. Scary stuff, but Laseki demonstrating that final Hado very, very nicely. So as stated before, this is the only form of Sigma we cannot use the Hadouken on. We're going to have to jump and hang on to these platforms and put 16 rolling shields into the head. Now the hands can be very trolly just like that. They'll stop a little bit early and smack you around. The only thing you don't want to do is to continue to slide on the wall because it manipulates the RNG and it can really hurt you in the long haul. Thunder getting a really nice Rangda. And with that, Laseki wrapping up with a 38-24. GG's in chat for Mr. Laseki here. Great execution, some really solid movement. It was a very, very good run. A 38 anything in a race is super respectable. And with that, let's go ahead and see how Mr. Thunderface handles the crazy stage that is Sig 3. So we may get to see the skip here. Let's go ahead and see if he can do it. Looks like he is going to try. Opting for the bonk setup, which is another great way of doing it. And there we go. So by doing low jumps, we don't scroll the screen all the way up, which means we're not going to trigger the boss fight unless we walk through the door, which unfortunately we saw Laseki do. By using the ice sled, it pushes us just far enough to hit that door trigger, and the screen doesn't scroll, so we can entirely skip that fight. Looks like Thunder's going to opt for the boomerang cheese as well. Again, anytime I can watch Mr. Chameleon getting messed up, I am down for it. He was so hard as a child. And on we go. Two strats here that you can use. Thunder opting to get the extra health there. That would be the Thunder strat. You can use the Sea Sting to go right through it. But if you want to pick it up nice and safely, definitely go ahead and throw that Thunder strat. Ooh, not opting for the ice strat. Very, very... That's some top-level stuff. You're really risking it for the biscuit. But, you know, if you want to get that extra time save, that's where you do it. So, we can go ahead and see more of this cheese you get when the iframes for Mr. Mandrill. He, definitely gets pretty readable once you get used to it, but Thunder having no trouble taking him down. And on we go. We get to see Fishman up here from Thunderface. Thunderface doing a, like almost a wall kick, just running all the way to the wall and then dashing all the way back. You can use that suction from the fish to just kind of jump and get thrown through it with a charged electric shot. So not a massive time save, but a very good trick to throw into your run. Getting the same jump as Laseki, so awesome execution as always. And we're heading off to Mr. Elephant. Fun fact for anyone who played this casually or hasn't had the chance to: if you end up having trouble with the elephant, you can actually throw boomerang cutters at him, and it will cut his nose off. That's the nice part with Elephant as well. You can be a little early on your Hadouken release or shoot, and it'll pop a lemon out. But with the height of Elephant's jump, you can usually just not worry about it, and it'll always turn out okay. Let's see if Thunder goes for the Domduken. Looks like he does. Unfortunately, jumps a little bit early, but he gets the optimal backup setup. That's total RNG if you're going to get the diagonal or the vertical. And again, Laseki's showing you that's really the fastest way to get through the vertical. If you can take the iframe shots, get that health tank out, you can just run it right back. But with that, we're moving right along here, so let's go ahead and see how how Velgarder wants to treat Thunder. There's two different strats. You got to see Laseki waiting for him to jump over. You can also charge a blue charge. Let's see if he opts for that. Doesn't look like Thunder's going to, so. Let's see here, so. Nice solid kill. Sigma hopping down, he's like, alright, fine. You got him. Take care of you myself. And we're like, no thanks, we're good. And we move right on to that final head fight. Again, 16 shots right to the head. Let's see if the hands want to cooperate. I know Laseki's hands were not giving him the best. Oh no, he's on the wrong weapon. He's thinking of the any percent fight, but that's okay. Now he's moving right along. Looks like the hands are cooperating for the most part. Oh, he's getting hit. He might Oh, and no tanks. This is a little scary, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if he can clutch. I believe. Again, you have 32 shots, so if he bounces them, and there we go. If you miss one, you have plenty here. So, very nice clutch from Thunderface, coming through with a 44.04. Also, fantastic run. Showcasing some strats. I don't know, are we going to do a follow-up commentary? Do we want to bring the runners into the room? Great job from both runners, again. Laseki and Thunderface, this was destined to be a really fun run. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to commentate. Thank you so much for having me here. Let's see. The invites have been sent. Let's see if the runners would like to join. Sounds like we have a couple minutes. We got about 10 minutes until we're on to the next. It looks like Thunderface is about to join. Hey, Thunderface, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing pretty good. I made it through the run, so.
Hey, man, you know what? You did a great job. GG. You actually showed off a couple tricks that Laseki wasn't able to, and vice versa. So it was a really
nice.
good match. How do you feel like it went? What do you think went well?
I felt like, well, obviously my intro went well because I got a gold split there, and then it kind of went downhill from there. My penguin, I was so frustrated by the slides on penguin, I didn't realize that one hit was gonna kill me there, and yeah. After that, I was able to take it easy. There was no pressure at that point, but.
Well, I have to say, I mean, that first death was definitely a shocker. You did have a bunch of people in chat that were very frustrated with all of the slides you were getting. But you executed well, man. You did great. I was surprised to see the menu, the soft reset. That's a valid strat. You never get to see that.
Yeah, one I was hoping I wouldn't have to show off, but I just couldn't get up there and do the climb for some reason, but at least that's an option, so.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was really cool to see too. I thought you were DQ'd for a second. I was like, oh wait, nope, that's cool. Otherwise though, yeah, man, great run. Sounds like you had a lot that went well. Is there anything that you wish might have gone a little better for you?
I was having trouble hitting all my Hados. That's something I want to practice, but otherwise, like, after I kind of got the initial frustration from Penguin out, I felt like it went really good up until basically the Sigma stages and hitting my Hados. Would have liked to get the Vial skip too, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it definitely does come down sometimes, especially with the nerves, you know. Well, were you nervous coming into this at all?
Nervous isn't necessarily the right word, but like, I don't know. This is the first one I've had restreamed, so I don't know. There's a little extra pressure with that, even though, you know, there shouldn't be, but you know, I think it maybe got to be a little bit, but then it was all gone after Penguin. I was like, okay, now I'm more frustrated than nervous, and then the frustration went, and the nervousness was gone with it. It was great.
Well, hey, you know, we're always all here just to support the runners. So, guys, if you're not following the runners, please go ahead and give them a chance here. You got Thunderface and Laseki. Both really, really solid show here. And Thunder, congratulations, man. Welcome to live streamed events. Is there anything you'd like to say before we go ahead and wrap this up? I know we have another race coming up here in about 5 minutes.
Well, congrats, Laseki, for winning and moving on. Hope to see you make it far in the losers bracket. Maybe challenge for that final position. But yeah, good luck to everyone. Thank you for doing the commentary. It was nice to get on the restream at least once. This will be my last tournament race with being my second loss. But hopefully Laseki can represent the loser side of the bracket well here.
Yeah, man. And again, great job. We're glad we had the chance to see you run. And for everybody else, please stick around. We do have another race coming up here in a couple minutes, so go get yourself a drink, a bathroom break, whatever it is, and then we will see you all shortly here for some Wind Waker randomized spoiler log tourney. God, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it should be good. I'll be tuning in as well. So.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump on out of here, Thunderface, and good luck to the next runners.
Sounds good. Thanks for watching. See you, everybody.